wonderful night, gotta take it from me. It's a wonderful night, come on and break it on down. It's a wonderful night, gotta shake it from me. It's a wonderful night, come on and break it on down. It's a wonderful night, everybody can see. It's a wonderful night.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brass Tacks, episode 1 on the Full Circle Radio Network. I'm your host, the producer here, Joseph J. Alexander. There's my name right there. For those of you currently new to the channel, thanks for joining us. This is a new endeavor. This is the first episode in a new endeavor of what I hope to do semi-regularly, just to kind of balance the scales from a couple other things that we do here at the channel. Those of you who've been with us for a while know that we have White Heat, our podcast about professional wrestling. We have Wildcard Cinema, our 3-panel movie review show. Some of you know me from Catharsis, which is a social commentary vlog. This is going to be a little different from all of that. So originally, when I was planning the ideas for what eventually became Catharsis, I was originally going to do a segment called JJ Chimes In, and honestly, the name didn't strike. So Catharsis became one thing, but there were certain things that I still wanted to do that really didn't fall within the realm of that. So I was like, well, it looks like I got to do another show. Okay, no problem. I'm already here. So what Brass Tacks is going to be about getting down to brass tacks on a few things. For those of you who are a bit younger, may not be familiar with the term, because I'm an ornery old Gen Xer. Getting down to brass tacks means basically kind of getting down to the bottom of things, analyzing, scrutinizing, figuring things out. And what the show Brass Tacks is going to be centered around. I don't want to say it's going to be a reaction channel, because it's not really, but it is. It's more of an analysis. There will be times like today for the initial episode where I do some reaction with analysis along with it. On other episodes, I may be giving my 2 cents, for lack of a better term, on certain subjects, not certain subjects, but certain videos that are already out there on YouTube or elsewhere. For the most part, I'm going to stick to stuff that is available here on YouTube, just so I can link it and people can go see for themselves, and we can get from there. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be getting down to brass tacks. We're going to be analyzing a few things. So I'm a big fan of analog horror. It comes from being a fan of the found footage found footage film drama. Sorry, my coffee has not kicked in yet. I'm sorry. The found footage film genre. Analog horror is kind of an offshoot of that. I mean, I'm sure if you're coming across this video, the algorithm said, hey, you like analog horror too, so here you go. At least that's what I'm hoping. If the algorithm wants to work with me. So, for those unfamiliar, Wikipedia, that shit. I know. Analog horror is basically it's made to look like it was done, recorded on lo-fi equipment, whether it be VHS or VHC camcorders, things like that. Usually or just things, everything has kind of a lo-fi look to it. A lot of the stuff takes place in a time prior to current day. Because anything that's current day, people have been starting to label as digital horror, which it doesn't have the same ring to it, but whatever. And I'm sure if you're an analog horror fan, you know the big players out there. Kane Pixels, who does the back rooms and the oldest view and is now doing another one. You know about the Mandela catalog. excellent. Can't suggest it enough. Some of you may know about Greylock, which is one of my favorites. I may talk about that a little in the future if they ever get to doing more. Some of you older folks may be thinking about Gemini Home Entertainment or things like that. There's a lot out there, and there's more appearing every week. And there's some channels out there that do analysis of some of these, and that's their thing, and I'm not going to step on those toes. Whether it be the super popular analog horror, because it's already been done. There's already people covering it. You know, I'm sure freaking Film Theory has done a ton of shit on the back rooms that you can go watch. Like, you know, Wendigoon has done a lot of good stuff. Like, I'm not going to step on toes. What I'd like to do is talk about some stuff that may not be getting enough attention. Or what I will be doing, not on this episode, but on future episodes, is looking at some that are kind of like the mid-range in popularity, so people may know them, but analyzing the analysts. Because there's people who come up with theories on things, and everyone's welcome to their theories. That's fine. That's the beautiful part about analog horror and ARGs is you're trying to figure out the world building on your own. But there's some people that have missed the mark on a few things, and I'm gonna point those out eventually. For those of you who knew, that's Titus Alexander over there. He's being a big bump right now because Daddy's not giving him any attention. Huh, Titus? See? Here. You want a cookie? Come here. Come here. Come here. Tell the new people. Tell them like and subscribe. See, like and subscribe. Good boy. No, you can't have my coffee. Yeah, one. There you go. Get back in your chair. Get back in your chair. Daddy's got work to do. Anyways, but yeah. So first run out, there's a channel that I found a little while back. They've been doing content for about a year, and they don't really have a lot of followers. I mean, granted, they've got more followers than me currently. Hit that subscribe button. But I think the algorithm made it pop up for me, and I was like, hey, okay. And I watched everything that had come out at the time when it come up, and then I kind of didn't hear anything from for a while. But I guess about a week ago, a new video came out. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through the whole catalog, which isn't that long. So that's why I'm going to do like a watch along. But I'm going to show you here. The channel is called the Baroque Hour. The series, I believe, is called Orpheus. I'm going to link the channel down below so that you can see it. So you can go to it and watch this on your own, because please, if you're giving me a watch, like, give them a watch. Like, they're the ones that put in all the effort on this. I'm just a guy giving a critique on it. So let's start off. Like I said, it's a short playlist. The videos aren't that long. I am refreshing my memory on the original stuff, and when we get to the last one, we're going to be watching it with new eyes together. So I'm going to try to make it as transformative as possible. I may pause at times. It's just me, because I don't want to be like some people who just sit there in the corner and like don't pay attention to shit and then just wait for the views to roll in to get that YouTube money. Because number one, I'm not monetized, so you're not going to have to worry about that with me. Maybe someday, but not currently. Hit the subscribe button. So let's cue it up. Here we go. So we are on the first one, which is entitled Autumn. I remember this commercial. I go over to the kid. Oh no, they used to be with the kid on the hot dog on the fork.
It's 2:00 in the morning.
It is? Shit.
Now presenting the Baroque Hour.
So this is what kind of sticks with me a little bit because this is supposed to be older, and a lot of local stations didn't have programming at 2 a.m. They usually went off the air like around 1 or so. So just a little, but I mean, it wasn't unheard of.
Enjoy your night.
Uh-oh, what was that? Oh, okay. Looks like a sound wave.
Enjoy your night.
Today at the Baroque Hour, Autumn by Antonio Vivaldi.
Okay, so yeah, Autumn is a sonnet, is a symphony by Vivaldi. Uh-oh. Vivaldi is looking a little suspicious there. Okay. Good ambience. I like it. It's our. Now, is the smile growing or is it just me? Okay. It's really disturbing with the headphones. Okay, so sorry. So that was that's a gut punch for, that's a lot that's a lot thrown into, just a little 3-minute, which is obviously the introduction of the series. Now I could very well go back and frame by frame all those little glitches, but I think it's better if you do that on your own. I'll do it on occasion just to see, but I think it's better for each individual to figure out things on their own. But so basically what I'm seeing there with the sound waves and stuff, this is my thought process going from the beginning. Like I said, I watched this when I first came up in my algorithm, but it's been a while, so I'm getting reacquainted with the series. To me, it seems like you got a TV station playing classical music, and the glitches with the sound wave seems to be like subliminal messaging, for lack of a better term, or possibly something like I mean, I know I know the practice didn't come around till probably far past when this is supposed to take place, but the whole thing with there's certain things with binaural beats where like certain beat patterns and everything, if you listen with your headphones, are supposed to be able to release endorphins. Like, I know binaural beats are used for meditation a lot, but I know that there's also like dark web, like binaural beats people that can make stuff that get you high, supposedly. I remember like an episode of 1,000 Ways to Die or something like that. So that's a possibility. Could be. But yeah. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. So this is Awake.
Bradmore Police Station. This is Officer Johnson.
Hello. Yes. This is Mr. Smith.
That's kind of generic. Johnson and Smith, those are the two most common names in the US. Maybe it's just to make it as generic as possible, like this could be anywhere in America.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. What is the reason for your call?
I wanted to report something unusual, and that honestly has been distressing me since last night. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had fallen asleep in front of the television when, heck, give me a second. Well, my television started flickering, and there were flashing images appearing.
Okay.
And tremendous music playing in the background.
So that was the
I
program.
had nightmares all night.
Oh, I see. So there were pictures appearing and tremendous music. Yeah, let me write it down so I don't forget.
Officer, I hope you are joking. This is serious.
I mean, yeah, the cop's obviously being a dick, but I could see why.
Please don't waste our time, Mr. Smith. We don't go into action just because of some random society reject who takes drugs and falls asleep in front of the television.
The word Orpheus kept appearing on the screen, and that music, that fucking music.
Okay, so that was the actual program. It wasn't like, I thought it might have been a teaser trailer for the series. But yeah, so apparently it kept saying Orpheus. All right.
You have to help me, officer. Officer, you have to believe me. Please, I beg you.
Good day, Mr. Smith. And stop abusing that shit.
You lose. Good day, sir. You should have trusted them. Was it a good idea to call them? That looks like Mr. Smith didn't make it.
He woke. He discovered too much about us.
So wait, so he's dead by the looks of it, or he's knocked out. But I'm guessing dead because that's the way analog horror goes. Whoever's saying he knows too much about us, maybe it's... I'm sorry, my lenses were a little too dark. I wasn't able to see clearly. Maybe it is a nefarious plan from the television station, and if you're able to see the subliminal lines and stuff, like, you got to get got. Oh yeah, he did. With a
Goodbye, Mr. Smith.
with that insignia carved into his chest. Nice. Wait, hold on. I saw a little thing come from the side. Single play. That's an old VCR coding. L S. Okay, it was just the VCR coding. Sorry. Oh, okay. So the Orpheus Global Corporation.
Greetings to you, police cadets. It is a pleasure for us at Orpheus to know that responsible guys like you will be the guardians of our project. This may be the first time you have heard of us, but we have been here much longer than you can imagine. Let me specify one thing before we begin. First rule.
Our existence must remain secret.
So wait. So the cop was being a dick, not because the guy sounded like he was crazy, but the cops are owned by this black hand.
Our existence must remain secret.
Our existence must remain secret or else you will not end well. But now, you need not fear. You are in good hands with us.
Are you in good hands?
We now turn to case 17. An awake within your jurisdiction.
Okay.
First of all, what is an awake? Very simple. Any person who, by an unfortunate coincidence, has managed to consciously view the subliminal messages that we broadcast daily in the global media.
That's not how anagrams work, bro. Was there something else there for a second? No.
Obviously, that person not being used to seeing these kinds of images or messages on a conscious level will enter a state of severe alertness. We do not yet know the causes of this, but it seems that some individuals possess a particularly developed brain that coincidentally allows them to pass over the filters we apply to avoid detection. But how to recognize an awake? Simple! By observing the symptoms. Awake symptoms are anxiety and frequent panic attacks, nightmares and night terrors, paranoia, visual and auditory hallucinations, convulsions, or even coma.
Your boy might disappear after episode 1.
Realization, derealization, distortion, disfiguration.
Okay, now we're getting to the classic tropes of analog horror with the distorted faces and stuff, which is fine. Like, I never get bored of it. It's when it's done well, it's done well. Static.
In case a civilian calls the police station reporting seeing strange images on the television and also describing any of the following symptoms, we need to be alerted. We will then proceed to keep the subject under close supervision. In the best case, the subject will commit suicide before a month is up, unable to sustain the effects of conscious exposure to our messages. But in the unfortunate case that
I think I know why this channel doesn't have as many viewers, because you use the word that you're not supposed to use for self-cancellation.
he survives more than a month, he will begin to realize the truth, seek information, understand more and more about us, and in the worst case, even go so far as to agitate riots. Therefore, in the event an awake survives suicide, he will be taken
Again.
and possibly sacrificed to the Most High, our only Lord Orpheus. He loves...
Okay. So obviously the person who's doing this is using certain iconography, which is fine. I just don't dig that you're literally using the portrayal of the devil as found on most tarot card decks. Or basically just your basic clip art stock of Baphomet. Like there's so many other things you can do for what you're trying to do.
the souls and blood of those who are too curious.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Mom. It's Alex. I don't have much time left, and I didn't want to leave you without saying
So wait, if your name's Alex, why'd they block it out in the other thing?
goodbye. I know I haven't called or visited you in the last few months, but I'm in grave danger, and I didn't want to put you in the same situation. I think I got a little too much attention from a very dangerous cult. They control the whole planet. They are everywhere. They have been around for a very long time.
Bro, you sound like so nonchalant saying this.
I did some research. I realized the truth. I hope you will find this tape to have one last memory of your son. Fuck! They are inside the house.
Okay, so I think the dude was legit using like an AI voice generator for this because there's just no inflection into that voice. Like, dude, you can do better. Yeah, there we go. Classic. Okay, so what I am wondering is that sound just there, or was this part of the like on the answering machine for his mom? Stupid ads. I'm not trying to let people get ads on my shit. Sorry about that, folks. I don't want to get, yeah, people shouldn't be doing stuff with the stuff and the stuff. You know what I mean. I'm trying to, there we go. You don't need that. So yeah, so we're 2 videos in, and so we've got your whole basis. We've got a dark Illuminati who's putting out subliminal messages, and they have the police force bought, and they have, so yeah, but we don't know why they're doing the subliminal messages. But we do know that some people are able to filter them out, and those people need to get got. Okay, so we're off to a nice little start. So let's see where it goes from here. Ah, there we go. Medical studies. And you know something? Okay, so there's no description. Okay. Okay, so that is not the common medical staff. That's a similar staff, but that is not the common one that is used in their icon. I only remember this because I have a friend who was an author who wrote an entire book about the history of the iconography of staffs and wands and where the origin of that came from. And that's literally just the snake. There's no wings. So, yeah. And obviously there's something going on because the Orpheus is the Orpheus emblem is above it. Dr. Stenway. And we already got the distorted face for him too. But I'm sure that's going to Orpheus Medical Center, USA. Dr. Stenway, doctor responsible for autopsies and cadaver studies. Delaware. Okay, so we're in Delaware. Wow, we're in Delaware. Study of analysis of patients who died of awake syndrome or sacrifice to the master. Okay. So human sacrifice. That's where we're at. We're here now. Okay. Okay, so what makes them does that so it says that people who are awake will usually self-cancel within 30 days. So how is it that the corpse look like this? Is that like does that happen if they don't, or like there's something missing from that? Okay, more distortion. All right. Okay. Uh-huh. This reminds me of Mount Greylock a lot. The one thing though is the pictures on the left, I feel like those are like the first couple of Google image searches if you search like 1950s yearbook. Okay. All right. Get on with it. Okay. So if they're sacrificed, this happens to them. So usually if you sacrifice someone, I'm missing something. Okay. All right. So right now we're just like it's like liminal land. Like we get it. You can show like 2. You don't need to show a whole bunch. Okay, no, that just looks meh. Okay, so he was sacrificed. But he was awake. So did they sacrifice him once he was awake? But now I'm getting more confused. Oh, okay.
How to sacrifice a human being.
1, make sure you got a really sturdy knife. You got to make sure it's sharpened. You got to make sure. Never mind.
First step. Prepare an altar in a suitable room.
Okay.
Second step. Place the human on the altar.
Well, yeah.
Third step. Pray.
Okay. Okay. Gregorian chant. Step 4, prophet. Back to playing Vivaldi. Okay. This is a aid.
Step 4. Prepare the branding iron.
Oh, so it was a branding iron. It wasn't carved.
Step 5. Brand the body. Step 6. Hope it doesn't come back to life.
Wait, what? So now we're dealing with cabal, human sacrifice, and zombies? Did Alex Smith come back to life? I guess that answers that. I'm sure that was something in backwards English. I don't have the tools to decipher that right now. Yo. Easy there, bro. The end. Jump scare? All right. Okay, so we're going to move on to elections. Yeah, analog horror, Orpheus. Yeah, so I think the guy was doing this. He's putting in a decent amount of work, but he's not putting in anything into human curiosity is pure selfishness. Okay, at least that's something. But like the whole like hashtags and next part and previous part, like there's a playlist, it seems like someone who's a little new to actually using YouTube as a venue. I don't know. Maybe I'm just that's not a knock on the person who's making it. That's just a matter of why it may not be getting as many views. BM looks like that's a K20, K4, K14, M24 something in the top left-hand corner there. Looks like it's the call letters for whatever station.
Citizens of Bradmore.
Okay, Bradmore.
Elections are coming up. Our wonderful little town needs a mayor who can show America what we are worth. And who else but Jacob P. Foster can take the place of the new mayor?
Jacob P. Foster needs to trim that mustache.
I was born in this city 60 years ago. It was a wonderful place.
I hate when they do this. shit, I don't remember the name. There was an analog horror series that everyone loves, but I can't stand it. It's about the beings that live in the snow. I keep forgetting it, but they did this throughout where they take actual analog footage of something that they found from like cable access or something, and they try to voice over it, but it does not match.
I still remember when several of today's buildings were not yet there. I am very attached to this place. That's why I want to make it a perfect place to live in.
Like, that's worse than shitty AI.
Dear fellow citizens, my only mission is to bring prosperity to this happy little town. No crime will be allowed anymore. We will create together a place where families can live happily. Think of the children.
Like, if you're going to plan on doing this for an analog series, like I said, it's just a small critique. If you're going to try and use old footage like this, really study channels that specialize in redoing stuff that's there. Bad Lip Reading and DJO, Day Job Orchestra, come to mind, where they take stuff that's already there and they transform it into something utterly comedic. And it looks like the people are saying what they're actually putting over it.
Vote for me.
Don't miss the polls on June 6th. We need
What? Wait, what? Why is there a mayoral election in June? I mean, the odd numbered year doesn't bother me because, like, my city, the mayor elections are in odd numbered years. But why is the mayor election in June? Shouldn't it be in November?
your vote. Foster for New Bradmore.
We welcome you to the big family of Orpheus. We know very well who you are, and so we send you the best greetings, Mayor Jacob Patrick Foster.
Okay, so it looks like Mayor Foster here got elected, and looks like he's already a puppet. So, but if they're just welcoming him in, does that mean that does that mean that Bradmore is like the headquarters in America, or is it just every city is part of this? It's like, are we looking at something that's so expansive that every municipality around the world is part of this cabal?
From the happy little town of Bradmore in Delaware. And our kind staffer has no doubt explained to you when they handed you the state. Every mayor must go through these procedures, even the one who preceded you and his predecessor before him. We need trustworthy mayors.
What was that? Okay, it wasn't anything. Okay, and there is no Bradmore, Delaware. Okay, just checking. Just because I know, like, Vintage 8 takes place in Kate's Crossing, Louisiana, which isn't an actual city, but it's a portion of something.
We need trustworthy mayors to lead the flock of Orpheus. You probably have never heard about us, but we have been operating continuously for centuries.
Imagine being a guy who just wants to run his town because he was a World War II vet who just wants to be a civil servant, and then, like, by the way, you belong to Satan now.
The whole world is under our rule, and you better submit to. We know your family very well, Jacob Patrick Foster, so you'd better cooperate with us. And remember to keep your mouth shut. Now resistance must remain secret. You might even get some benefits from your participation, but only those that will be allowed by your position within our hierarchy. Here's a quick explanation for you. In the lowest level we have police officers.
Wait. So Orpheus is run by the gay food pyramid? I'm sorry. I'm an ally. Please calm down.
Only position that allows scum to rise one level without too much effort. In the second level we have your category. City mayors and other minor offices. At the third level, we find politicians and their councils. At the fourth level, we have the higher brothers. Among them are presidents, businessmen, and several millionaires. They are the only ones, without exception, who can attend our rituals as participants or spectators. How about it? Come now, our supreme leader, the most important mortal figure for our cult.
Okay, so basically, yeah, what we're dealing with here is everyone in the government's part of it, and we're dealing like top level, we're dealing with like Bohemian Grove type shit. All right. Okay, so he's holding the lyre that is the head of Orpheus. Which now I'm starting to wonder, because of the name of the organization is Orpheus, is it taken from the Greek mythology Orpheus, the one who entered Hades to he entered into the underworld to take his wife Eurydice back from Hades, and Hades said that you can have her back, but you have to walk, you have to exit the underworld without looking at her. You can't look back. And as long as you do that as long as you don't look back until you get to the main world, she can be yours again. And he does it, and basically he gets all the way to just about the opening, and he turns back too soon, and she gets sucked back into the underworld, and he's also never allowed to enter the underworld, so he must to walk the earth forever immortal, and he ends up getting torn apart, and so just his head is floating down the stream, so he's just a head, and it's immortal. So are we thinking that like that's what this is going? It'd be cool. It'd be different. Uh-oh.
Who the hell is it at this time of night?
Sir, this is Fedderson.
Ah, Chief Fedderson. Why the fuck are you calling me at this hour?
Sir, we received a call this afternoon. Seems to be a clear case of awake.
Another one. Why are they so frequent? Those idiots at the local TV station had said that they could broadcast awake-proof subliminal messages.
It is impossible
So I was right.
to broadcast awake-proof subliminal messages, sir. Whatever precautions we take, there will always be someone able to see through our filters.
Ah, the hell with it. What is the name of the subject?
Smith, sir. Alexander Smith. He lives in Jefferson Street all alone. His mother and younger brother live 2 blocks away.
Why is the fucking police chief always Irish?
Thank you for the information, Fedderson. I will contact the Delaware section. I hope they hurry to take him. This awake thing is getting on my nerves.
It is the role of the police to keep you updated in the situation within the town. If the presence of an awake is detected, you will be notified and must advise us as soon as possible. Then we will take care of the situation, and you will have to do nothing more.
Okay, so the mayor was in on Alex Smith's death. Don't ask questions, bro. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Bro. Don't punch above your pay grade. Yeah. It is a worldwide cabal. What could it harm? Bro, you were in combat. See? Bad idea. So he was at the sacrifice of Alex Smith. Bro, I don't think this is going to bode well for your house.
Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions.
It's 67 degrees. Ruh-roh. Yeah. Bro. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, it ain't over for you, bro. Pop, pop.
Happy days are here again.
Ooh, so did he do that to himself, or was someone there just to pop, pop?
The skies of all are clear.
Oh, no, he did to himself. Sorry.
Citizens of Bradmore, elections are coming up. Our wonderful little town needs a mayor who can show America what we are worth. And who else but George M. Dewar can take the place of the new mayor?
So, yeah, so so maybe that's why the election was in June. Maybe, I don't know. It still doesn't make sense. I mean, it would make sense if Dewar's election was in June. Be like, yeah, last mayor lasted about 3-4 months, and then boom, must have not been able to handle the job. It must have been too much for him. Like, just like I said, just a small critique of the world building that could have gone there. I wonder if there's any significance to the date of June 6th, 1985. I mean, it's obviously 6-6, so it's almost 666. 6685 is 13. That's a possibility. Sorry, I'm trying. Like, it's just like a random thought that came to me. What happened on June 6, 1985? 58 Dodgers. That was the day that they exhumed the body of Dr. Mengele. I ain't touching that one. Let's get back to the show. So here we are, Venice, beautiful Venice. Now let's see here. He will raise again from the depths of the prophet's grave. Wait, what? Like, I'm not like, bro, like, did you saw like the prophet's grave? But we're in Venice. Hey, we're in Delaware. The spot. Interesting. Now, are they in Venice? Because it's literally like so. Because they're playing the subliminal stuff under Vivaldi. Does this mean this goes all the way back to Vivaldi? Church of Santa Maria. Are we trying to say that the Church of Santa Maria is over a hellmouth? Claudio Monteverde. Yeah. So Monteverde was another composer along with Vivaldi, for those of you that are unaware. I always want to go to Venice. Il Prete Rasso, leader of. So that's the Red Priest, I believe. Il Prete Rasso. I know Rasso is red. Thanks, Dario Argento. So I believe that's the Red Priest. Smell of iron and putrid. Okay. Big well has been filled. He will rise again from the depths of the prophet's grave. Okay. I'm guessing that's the prophet, but it has the like the Wendigo looking face skull. Okay, so not a lot, but let's see here. So apparently, whatever demon this is that they're praying to is in Venice. So they mentioned a well, they mentioned smell of iron and putrid. So my belief would be that the sacrifices, what they are doing is they drain the blood of the sacrifice, and then it must be transported to the well to be filled. And only when the well is filled can the master, whatever, be resurrected. Which would make sense as to what, like, because obviously, like, you can't just throw, like, because bodies are found, so they're not throwing the bodies in there. So they must be draining. It must be something that has to do with the way of the prayer or the ritual or something, and then the blood is extracted, and that's the only way. So that way you have to fill the well, and if it's a big ass well, that would explain why you need to have the mayors of every municipality and all the way up, because obviously there's probably going to be sacrifices everywhere to be able to transport this back, because you're going to need a lot to fill a well. It's going to take a long ass time and a lot of people. That really makes me worry about the thing that I found with Dr. Mengele, because it was 6 million people. Could have very well. I mean, that would be dark as shit, and it would definitely be something that a lot of people haven't thought about, like going into as far as the analog horror realm goes into. So that would be a hell of an idea. It'd be dark as shit and really hard to skirt around with the whole YouTube algorithm dealing with, Mustache Man. But that would be insane. And it would tie into the Italians because of Muscles and Linguini. I don't know if I can say his name. So that's a possibility. And I think just having, like, it could be very well because Mustache Man was into the occult, and obviously you Raiders of the Lost Ark and everything. So maybe he was looking into finding out about resurrecting or bowing down to yada yada, and the cult of Orpheus was part of that. And so that's why all these people were there might be a thing. There might be something linking those. Can't be sure, but it'd be interesting. Back to it. Blood donation. Rejoice. Okay. Uh-oh.
Good afternoon, my fellow Americans. I'm here today to ask you an important question, which I think you have a duty to answer. Have you ever thought about offering your blood?
Oi. Now, obviously, this was taken from, he used an AI generator to get Reagan's voice, and it was definitely from an American Red Cross thing about giving blood.
Have you ever thought about donating your blood for the homeland? Our hospitals are in great need of it. And I know in my heart that the population cares about the health of the patients. You would never...
Or there might have been a Reagan did a commercial for the American Red Cross, but it was probably just voiceover, but they're trying to use one of Reagan's addresses that was broadcast on TV and trying to match it up, and it's not working.
Never let one of your relatives die, would you? Well, now imagine that one of them needs your blood to survive. What would you do? Of course, you would donate it without a second thought. That's why, just for your benefit, I and the other leaders of the earth have put ourselves on the line to reach your consciences with one cry. Donate! Donate your blood!
And for those who aren't familiar, and I'm not sure if it's still a common thing, but in the 80s, you used to get paid to donate your blood. By the time I was eligible to donate, it was literally a volunteer effort. I gave blood quite often, as often as I could, really. But they used to pay people for blood donations. But the problem was that was how AIDS spread so fast, because there were a lot of intravenous drug users who needed money for a fix, so they would donate blood, and the blood was tainted and from sharing needles, and that's how a lot of things that I had a cousin that died of AIDS because of a bad blood transfusion. So yeah, I don't mean to bring you all down here. Just giving you a little history lesson. Several accidents involve hundreds of ambulances around the world. Carrying large amounts of blood. So they took the blood from the donation centers, but would that work? Because wouldn't you have had to have the sacrificed person and the blood transfer? I don't know. Maybe they got like a coffee filter or something to put it through. The accidents ambulances were always found with cargo blood mysteriously stolen. Vampires! Cases still open at ambulances, even to this day, are still being attacked around the world. So they're definitely filling the well with the blood. The ambulance vampires, as the media calls them, have never been caught, and their presence has brought a blood shortage to hospitals around the world. That was a really good episode of Tales from the Crypt. Malcolm McDowell played the reluctant vampire that was the night watchman of Blood Bank. And George Wendt played his boss, and Michael Berryman played Rupert Von Helsing. And I forget the name of the woman in it, but it was actually it was dark comedic, but it was actually kind of touching because like you felt bad for the vampire, but it was okay at the end. To the BBC!
The ambulance vampires strike again. In Birmingham, an ambulance has been found completely destroyed at the crossing of Albert and Whitton Roads in Birchfield. Police are still investigating the incident and the resulting theft of blood. The two drivers were found dead. Prime Minister Thatcher expressed terrible sadness at the incident and urged the people of Britain to continue donating at the designated centres to remedy the blood shortage in British hospitals.
Because Margaret Thatcher's in on it.
Good evening. Another incident caused by ambulance
more of that. Bro, stop it.
Vampires worries the people of Birmingham, where an ambulance carrying blood from the nearest donation centre.
And now we're back to I believe this is the Hellmouth below Santa Maria. This is where the well is located. Okay, I'm going to go back there for a second to see if there was anything in that jump cut. It's the wave again. It's the subliminal wave. It's there again. Worker from Rome, Italy was working on the renovations of the Church of Santa Maria. After a sinkhole opened in the floor of the basilica, Giulio fell underground. The sinkhole was quickly closed, and the other workers who witnessed it were eliminated. Does that mean they were? Or were they fired? It's suspected that the subject has seen the tank room and the content of the well, so his immediate sacrifice is required. We cannot risk him finding an escape path and telling what he saw. So that footage apparently he had a camera with him when he fell down the sinkhole, and okay. It's suspected that the subject is. Oh, yeah. Poor guy. He's just doing some work. Did his face get distorted too? I think it was just a static. So then here's the issue I have with sometimes with found footage is if this is supposed to be Julio's viewpoint here, how did we get this footage? And also how it says like smell of iron and putrid, because that was obviously the same footage. How did that captioning appear there? Like that little nuances like that will take a person out of it. Oh shit. He saw. And was sacrificed. Yep. Make it fucking now. Today's guest. Oh shit, it's Dr. Senway. Section Chief of Hematology and Oncology. This is the guy who was taking care of cadavers and now he's a fucking... Wow, he rose fast.
Well, let's say that the situation is quite serious.
Stop it, bro.
The ambulance vampires have been operating on a regular basis since the post-war period, and in recent years they have caused a heavy shortage of blood for the hospitals. Our patients require blood during surgeries and in extreme emergencies.
So basically, this guy was a coroner who kept who they kept bringing in bodies with the goddamn brand on him, and he was like, "The fuck is going on, bro?" And they were like, "Listen, keep your mouth shut. We'll give you a job."
At the moment, we cannot guarantee such large supplies. They attack ambulances, steal all the blood supplies, and then kill the drivers. The fact that no one has been able to find and stop them all these years is terribly serious.
We suggest the name ambulance vampires. Of course. He was given the words to say. Yep.
What do I think about it? Well, I'm of the opinion that these are simply contraband traffickers who resell.
We need a quicker method for blood collecting, bro. What's a quick? So, once again, just small hole in the fabric. If you have the cabal running all of the cities around the world, why are you gonna do the whole thing of just having the ambulances get knocked over? Why don't you just set like you run the hold on. You run the gimmick. You run the whole thing. So why is it that you need to do a cover up with the ambulance vampires when it's an ambulance here, an ambulance there, when literally you can just go to the blood banks, have them load up on houses, on vans or fucking trailers marked American Red Cross and just take the shit and say, oh yeah, it's going to a main donation center and then it gets distributed to hospitals. That's all you got to do. Like, you don't need to be knocking off like it. It just seems like there's a step missing there. Like, you could very well just be doing that. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing
something. So in conclusion, it is necessary for all American citizens, and not only them, but also all the citizens of the world, to make an effort to donate their blood to the specialized centers where it will be collected and transported to hospitals.
What was that? Was that just the OMC logo? How bizarre! How bizarre! Rejoice! He's getting stronger!
Work today
Okay, so
is broken.
where are we?
We're all working in too many disconnected
So
apps,
we've got the Well
and
of
it's killing
Souls.
team productivity. But
Sorry. So we got the Well of Souls. The well is almost full. The Well of Souls, or whatever, the sacrifice well. It's been uncovered, but then covered back up. They're finding methods in order to fill. Maybe there was a delay because of. So if this takes place in 1985, as we're led to believe, so that was definitely in the middle of the AIDS epidemic. So maybe the reason they had to cut back was because of the AIDS epidemic and the tainted blood. So that's a possibility, give or take. So we've got our pieces here. We've got the subliminal messages coming through the TV. Not sure why we have the subliminal messages. That part hasn't been given yet. We've got people being sacrificed in order to bring back this greater evil. We've got this huge cabal. We've got the, Bohemian Grove type situation there. We've got people being put in things. All right. So now there's a couple pieces missing that we've got to fill in. We got to fill them in. So we got to fill in where this started and what the greater goal is still. We got to figure out why these subliminal, what's up with the subliminal messages? They're doing a decent job so far. These are the questions that are arising. So let's keep going. So now we're at a general study. A general study on awake syndrome. Oh, okay. All right. I'm game. Following videotape is property of the OMC. The viewing of the following audio-visual data is prohibited outside the assigned facilities. It's the FBI warning, except it's how bizarre. Dr. Bergman had a broadcasting experimentation department. Okay, so maybe my questions are about to be answered. The tape. Okay, it's just distortion. See, unfortunately, like sometimes you can frame by frame and find something, but sometimes people just do distortion for the sake of it. So it's really hard to do, which is why I encourage you to go watch this on your own time as well. The Room. Oh, okay. I was going to show there. Bob. Subject was captured while returning home from work. He has no special features. He's the average American man. Okay. Obviously that's got to be the sound waves of the... Oh no, okay, it's him.
Good evening, Mr. Bob Miller.
Mr. Bob.
You're in very good hands. This is not where you. Please relax and keep your eyes fixed on the television at the center of the room.
Okay, now I'm getting Mandela catalog vibes. Ruh-roh. That's the prophet or whatever. After viewing the messages without protective filters, the patient is visibly confused and frightened. Oh, so this guy's dead. They're not even trying to like test out subliminal filters. This guy's just a sacrificial lamb. While only special human beings are able to see through the filter spontaneously, for anyone else, this is not possible. By forcing natural conditions through the elimination of the filter from the TV screen, we can generate an artificial awake. Only in this way is it possible to study the stages of the syndrome step by step. Oh, God. I'm sorry, Mr. Bob. Senor Bob. 10 hours. Patients suffer from nightmares and night terrors for the entire night. Early symptoms of awake syndrome are beginning to appear. Where did he sleep? God, dude, you stuck him in the damn bathroom from Saw. Being exposed to our messages without filter protection is comparable to being exposed to direct powers of Orpheus. Okay. So Orpheus is the god? Or the being? Demon? 2 weeks! Insomnia, hallucinations, and paranoia are gradually driving the subject into madness. Long until the subject's elevated intracranial pressure leads him to be affected by severe headaches, delirium. Okay, so skull deformation. That's why the people. Okay, all right. The terrible pain the patient will develop and the continued hallucinations will lead him to a natural desire to blank. But if he is able to resist, or if the possibility of it's denied, further symptoms will develop. Okay, so if the cancel word is there, what's blacked out there? Oh, it's the same thing. Two months. Patient endures the pain with difficulty and his facial cranial features are now mostly unrecognizable. So someone who is awake will live past 30 days. Okay. Slowly becoming conscious of the power that has poisoned him. The realization pushes him to attempt gathering all useful information to discover the truth about. Okay, so we've already established all this with Alex Smith. Patient will then enter a phase of severe derealization and detachment from reality. Now all he does is repeat the name of Orpheus between screams of delirium and pain. His brain is totally deformed. Okay. Four months after exposure, natural death from awake syndrome. Okay, so within 30 days, most people usually themselves, but the most you'll live is 4 months after exposure unless you're sacrificed. Because my wild guess is, leading from this, is that the subliminal messages are there to prepare them so that they can be sacrificed. Kind of like how I so yeah, that would make sense with the blood drives. That way it's not just the chanting on the altar. They're already prepped before they get there. You know, they're already marinated. So that way, so that way they don't have to be prayed on the altar. They can go to the blood banks and they can give the blood because they've already been marinated, for lack of a better term. Okay, so that makes sense. The subject does not attract too much attention. Death by skull formation will be the natural end of the awake syndrome. The corpse will appear as an empty shell, empty to both life and soul. That's death for the dead. The corpse will remain in a lifeless state. Okay. Obviously, the corpse is lifeless. Uh-oh. Yeah, it still says lifeless. Oh, Senor Bob. Okay, and once again, like, we got a bunch of these already. But what happens if the subject starts attracting too much attention? Sacrifices. Sacrifice what we get by sacrificing a human being to the master Orpheus. Sacrifice is used especially in cases where those with awake syndrome become inconvenient to the organization. The subject, during the agony of his condition, draws too much attention to himself, or if driven by the awareness given by the syndrome, he seeks information about us. His fate is sacrifice. Okay, yeah. So once again, this is all stuff that's already been predicated. Like, we don't. It seems like you're giving us the same information over and over again now. Sacrifice is also inflicted as punishment on those who find out what they should not, or worse, members who betray. Like Mayor Mustache there. Who be that? Subject number 2, Peter. After contracting a wakey... yeah, there was something else there. After contracting a wake, he began screaming in a supermarket that the end of the world is near. Okay, so yeah, so we're talking about the apocalypse. All right. He was transported to a local center, then anesthetized and moved to a proper room. Let me guess, he was sacrificed. Yep. now be forever with him. Or is at his disposal now? Possible revival of the subject believed dead. Great. So we're still dealing. The end. Okay, so we're getting there.
What if
It's a
there was no galaxy far, far away,
we've already learned,
and there was no joy?
With just a little bit more detail as to what goes on with it. But we're still missing some stuff here. So, okay, so obviously it's the well is being filled with the blood to bring forth this being that will bring forth the biblical apocalypse. Okay, so we've gotten that. We're there now. Okay, so all right, biblical apocalypse, end of the world is coming. Primed people's blood is going there. Okay, so that's great and all, but where did this start? And where is it going with the... So it says not all people that die come back, but some do. Some come back as, basically zombies. So does this mean when the apocalypse comes, the zombies will take... Are we basically saying when there's no more room left in hell, the dead will walk the earth, yada, yada? Is that where we're going? Or are we going with... Because apparently this being not only eats your body, but your soul is what it's trying to say. Which is like a given for some demons and such. Okay. So where do the zombies come in? I don't know. All right, let's get back to it. Prudent people see danger and take cover. The inexperienced keep going and are punished. Okay. We're back in Venice.
Built on water and mud, a creation of color and light, Venice is an unreal city whose thousand-year history hides many mysteries. One of them is the life of the composer of this music, Antonio Vivaldi.
Okay, so now we're getting back to Vivaldi.
Like the mask so commonly worn by 18th century Venetians, the years have hidden from us most of the details of Vivaldi's life. He left no autobiography. There are few accounts of him in the records of his time. Within a few years of his death, he disappeared from history. The man, and almost all of his music.
I mean, some of his music survived because I knew who he was. Then obviously there's paintings of him. It's Vivaldi.
Great fear and ecstasy at the same time is the only way I can describe what befell me, dear brothers. The Master appeared to me in a dream. He revealed himself as he did for the Prophet many years ago. He chose me.
Okay, so the master is... So the master and the prophet are two different beings. Okay. I love a good harpsichord. Okay. That was kind of a... that definitely reminded me of Greylock. If you know, you know. So okay, so Orpheus, I guess the master just said, "Come here, you my bitch." Okay, who's the prophet then? Okay, so we don't know who the prophet is, but there's the red priest. Hey, that's what I said before, the red priest. Vivaldi looking a little sus. Oh no, that's not Vivaldi. Yeah, it is. It's Vivaldi. 1718.
Upon my awakening, I received the sacred stigma. Brothers, this gives me the right to be your guide, the rightful successor of the prophet. After years of silence, the Master has chosen me as your light. He has assigned me a task. In order to seal our union, a task of vital importance. Reunite his remains with the prophet. He wants to rest together with him. This is his explicit wish and command. In return for our cooperation, he decided to bless us with even grander rewards than before. Power, wealth, all sorts of pleasures, at one price. The blood...
The blood of... Or do we not know? Nope, we don't know. I mean, obviously, it's the blood of the people. Oh, look, he's kind of hiding out there. The Leader Delights in the Arts by Pio Leon Ghisi. Private collection. No, yeah, there's a little Orpheus emblem. What was that? The sacred stigma. Okay, yeah, it's on his hand. All right, yep. And Stephen said, "Brothers and fathers, hear me. The God of glory appeared in our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia before he lived in Haran."
Great joy. We have reached it. We have reached the land between two rivers that the Master pointed out to me.
So the land between two rivers is Mesopotamia, currently known as Iraq, the area in between the Tigris and the Euphrates.
At first glance, we are confronted with nothing but sand and bristling mountains. But the certainty of what we will find there urges us to continue. The local shepherds confirm that we are not going to find anything relevant. Only ancient ruins of the civilizations that once inhabited those lands. Despite this, we were told some fundamental information. Some boys warned us that, while crossing a specific place in the desert, they suddenly felt quite ill. Hallucinations, migraines, voices in their heads. They believe the area is haunted by some kind of demon. We're sure that's the place to look. Your great leader and humblest servant, Antonio Vivaldi.
Okay, so a couple small things. So now we're basically getting into Mesopotamia. Tigris and the Euphrates is close to it's the Middle East. So he might be trying to refer to Megiddo, which is a lot of biblical stuff, yada yada. Wendigoon is really good on that stuff. But basically everything is the cradle of life. Not the cradle of life, sorry, but ancient Babylon. Sorry. So So obviously a lot of religious iconography is around there. So the guess is that the demon or the anti whatever is somewhere there. Okay, that makes sense. One little tip, just because it's 1718 and you're doing the parchment here. I wouldn't have the words in English because it's Vivaldi and he was Italian.
Do you really want to spend
Arg! Stupid ads. Let me let it that.
the rest of your life watching ads? Guys, just download Fi. It's a free Google Chrome extension and it basically
Stupidity. Let's get back to it.
Servant, Antonio Vivaldi.
The Oriental Excavation private collection. Okay, so it looks like the well, but they're in Mesopotamia. The desert creatures will meet with the wolves. The hairy goat also will cry to the kind. Yes, the night monster will settle there and find itself a resting place. Haran. Dig Dunk, Ancient Babylon edition. Okay, so they uncovered whatever the hell it was. Obviously. It's supposed to be the demon that they're praying to, apparently named Orpheus. Prudent people see danger and take cover. The inexperienced keep going and are punished. That's Proverbs 27:12. That's listed down below. Okay. When I woke up, I was alone, lost in that wretched land. Gentlemen, where are you? Please, I'm so scared. I wish I had never received an answer. Vivaldi looks sad. Okay, so there's the mark of Orpheus on the red priest. There's Orpheus. Okay, so Vivaldi's basically the third in line. Okay, so that takes us to filters, which is the newest one and the last one in the series so far, because there's no next part listed here. Let's see. And then came the great regret. Big thanks goes to Nicolay providing his voice in this video. Oh, okay. So he hired someone to do some voice acting work, and he went to Fiverr. Okay, that's good to know. Better than using AI. So this is the final installment. Oh, it's a long one too. Okay, so squidge with me on this, folks. This is the last selection. It's the newest one, and let's go through it. Television. Looks like one of those old educational films.
After 10 years of experiment, television, first shown to the public at the World's Fair, now takes its place as a new American art and industry. With the inauguration of regular television broadcasts from NBC, one of the RCA services, set owners in metropolitan New York enjoy the novel experience of receiving pictures through the air.
$1980. Okay, so we're 5 years before Alex Smith now. Uh-oh. I think this guy's awake. Just a reminder, I haven't watched this yet, so everything else was a refresher. This is new to me. Who's this handsome fella? I'm guessing it's the guy that's crying. Vincent Phelps. Born 4/18/58. Awakening 10/25/80. Death expected in February. But they said that the wake people last only about 30 days before offing themselves. So why are you expecting him to last October? No, you're expecting him to last the full 4 months? The body was found lying prone on the bathroom floor. The subject took numerous doses of Percocet, most likely to treat the pains caused by skull deformation. His death occurred by overdose, despite the fact that the syndrome took a natural course. Was Percocet widely available in 1980? I think it was. It didn't get super popular until the late 80s, but it's a possibility. Ah, it's our buddy Vivaldi again. So, did Vivaldi become awake? Where's my blood, Antonio? Ah! We just hanging out with a titty out? Florence St. Mary, born May 15, 1907. Oh, December 9th, 1985. Death expected in April. The body was found in a bed, stuck sitting due to rigor mortis. The subject died due to complications brought on by awake syndrome. All typical signs from pallor to hollow expression are presented. This woman, most likely in a state of deep terror due to the symptoms, tried to comfort herself by holding the crucifix she was clutching in her hands. Unfortunately, it was of no use. Okay. You're repeating yourself, dude. Like, I understand, like, there was a gap of like 9 months between your last video and the newest one, but if people are following the series, they don't need this kind of recap. Like, we've seen enough people die of awake, and we've seen what happens when they die of awake. Like, Nova Chronica Venetia. The New Venetian Chronicle. Okay. Father Bartolomeo Nasirio. New Venetian Chronicle. Okay, so it's a false publication. It's a fictional publication. I am certain that I speak the truth. May the Almighty Lord strike me dead if I am lying to you. Having entered the Frari early in the morning to dust the candlesticks, I saw none other than Signor Vivaldi lying on the floor unconscious of himself. So the Frari, that's obviously the Santa Maria. It's the same place. Okay. I had not seen him since he left for the East to study certain exotic instruments, and there he was, back without anyone noticing, moreover covered from head to toe in such a dusty mess. Okay. So wait. Maybe it wasn't a hellmouth, but maybe that'd be a long-ass passage from Mesopotamia to Italy, basically underneath the Mediterranean. like a series of like the literal underworld. Because that's why he would be a dusty mess, because he would have gone on and in the dirt. Like I said, dig dug. Not a single passerby had seen him enter, and the door was locked with a key that only I have, yet there he was lying. So yeah. So Vivaldi met Orpheus and then traveled the underworld back to Italy. Okay. There's some gaps being filled. After waking him with difficulty and calling for help, several well-dressed gentlemen came to get him. All nobles, they told me. After all, Signor Vivaldi is famous for his music. They must have been his patrons. So that's the cabal, the early stages of the cabal. From there, they came with him. Those were all the distorted, like the faces that we saw when he first met Orpheus. He seemed strange, though. He only managed to proffer a few words, which I reported to you as follows. Now he is here, finally. Now he is down here. Thus he said. He must have overdone the wine after coming back from such a long journey, I say. A distinguished gentleman like him, furthermore, also an ordained priest, lingering in these worldly pleasures. What a world, my friends. Vivaldi was a priest? Was Vivaldi a priest? Oh, wait. See, I don't know everything, and yes, I had to, but Vivaldi's nickname was Il Prete Rosso, the Red Priest. Okay. So Vivaldi became the Red Priest. Okay. So the well is below that cathedral. Where's my blood? So he agreed. He made the deal with the devil. Okay. So that's where it started. Vivaldi made a deal. My son, now that our net is firm upon the world and I am reunited with the prophet revealed, feed me. So the prophet, which is not Orpheus himself, the prophet was another being, or it's the one and the same. It's the whole Jesus and God are the same thing, I guess. Is that what they're going on? The prophet and Orpheus are the same being. I need the sweet nectar of life. In return, you, my son, shall have glory, fame, power, and wealth. Obviously, yes, I need blood. Offer me blood or I shall be lost. Okay. All right. My flesh will rot fast now that I am outside my mound. Feed me, my children, nourish your father, listen to the sweet sound of my words. Antonio, where is my blood? You came to seek me when I called your name. And now, thanks to you, I'm finally reunited with the prophet. Now you can start the harvest of sacrifices. So Orpheus was the intangible that was not of this earth. The prophet was his form in flesh. Now that they've been reunited, because his body was exhumed. Remember what now he needs the sacrifices. Oh, God.
Dear brothers, it is with great sorrow that I announce the terrible news. A serious illness afflicts our great leader. A terrible lung fever has overtaken him while I was a guest at his residence. The doctors believe that he cannot survive any longer. His most loyal followers are requested to come to his bedside at his Viennese estate. Best regards, GT.
July 28th, 1741. That's the day Vivaldi died. At the leader's deathbed. One problem here. Vivaldi, like a lot of composers, died a pauper. He didn't have a lavish estate. That's Vivaldi. That's oh no, that's Vivaldi. That's a caricature of Vivaldi that Gazy did. That's not Tartini. Wait. The Red Priest. Okay, someone else awake and died. All right. Fedor Greco, 1975, probably died in November. The corpse is unrecognizable due to advanced state of decomposition, and the fact that the jaw has slipped from the original position made the identification difficult. The young man has probably been dead for about 2 months due to awake syndrome, and the exact date of his awakening is unknown, since the subject neither called for help nor attracted too much attention. He simply locked himself inside his house, waiting for his slow death. The TV set was still on the whole time. Woof! He said, I ain't going out like a bitch. Where am I? Okay. So this is the thing. I'm going to wait because maybe this is where it's going. I'm not going to say anything. Okay, that's definitely Babylon area, Middle East, yada yada. What is this desolate wasteland? The boat. Mind has no secrets for me. I've decided to allow you a chance to prove to me what you're capable of. You are the next. But okay, there's Baroque. Exercise your free will and behave as you please. Given to the world and continue to proclaim my word to the right people, Giuseppe. But whoever believes and is baptized will be saved. Okay, there's the stigma. The violinist. Okay.
Dear brothers, after the sorrow comes again the joy. I, Giuseppe Tartini, favored by the divine light of the Master, was contacted in my dreams. Him chose me as your new light. The stigma on my left hand is proof of this. I have already been subjected to the necessary periods of observation. The wound does not heal. As you can see from the stamp on the letter, the Council of the Regents has verified the authenticity of the passing of power. Indeed, it is my concern, before the minor issues, to communicate here and now a change of direction.
Okay, so this is what I was getting at before I go any further. So Vivaldi was not a rich man when he died. And also, there were some paintings of Vivaldi, but however, the last known sketch of Vivaldi looked like this. So just going to go back here to this for a second. So you see, that's Vivaldi, and that's Tartini. Vivaldi, Tartini. Am I the only one seeing this? I mean, Tartini was an actual person. He was a violinist. He was a Baroque musician as well. I don't know. A little confusing. Anyways, let's get back to where we are. Make sure I'm on the right screen. Yeah.
Was contacted in my dreams. Him chose me as your new light. The stigma on my left hand is proof of this. I have already been subjected to the necessary periods of observation. The wound does not heal. As you can see from the stamp on the letter, the Council of the Regents has verified the authenticity of the passing of power.
So the Council of the Regents, that has to be the noblemen that were there for Vivaldi.
Indeed. It is my concern, before the minor issues, to communicate here and now a change of direction. It is not my intention to create disarray, but in my opinion this position was given to me by the Master with a specific purpose. The previous leader's harvesting policy was rather thrifty. The Master needs blood, and needs it now. Do not pretend that you don't know the real reason for that Red Priest's illness. Well, I am certain that it is the Master who sent it. There is no doubt in my mind. He disappointed the Master by regulating the harvesting of sacrifices. Therefore, his thriftiness has punished him. But we will not allow ourselves such mistakes anymore.
Okay.
We will establish for each city a group of undercover officers, specialized in the collection of elements from the slums.
Okay, so we started with the cops in the 1700s in Venice, getting rid of the poor people.
The prisons and the working class. No one needs them. Therefore, they are disposable for a greater good.
The greater good.
May the Master be with you. Giuseppe Tartini.
The greater good. Arthur Benjamin Tykenry. I'm sure I'm butchering that last name. The Great Regret. Back in the days of the Red Priest and the violinist, we would take them and then, without too much worry, bore a deep hole from the neck to the carotid artery and leave them there to bleed until the bucket was full. Oh, that's just wonderful. We didn't worry too much about the number of subjects we were fetching or even what might generate in the rabble. Perhaps we were too ingenuous, maybe too eager for our reward. After all, my prosperity came to me that way, by pleasing my master. All the liquids were dumped into the well by the leader himself. As you know, the only one who can access the chamber. Okay? At that time, as you may not know, techniques to induce a voluntary bloodletting, as are done in modern times, were not in use. But after what occurred, we learned our lesson quickly. Uh-oh! And then came the Great Regret. Okay, so I'm guessing that people had to give of their blood willingly. That works with the blood donations. But they were just whacking people and something fucked up. that Tacks? Oh no, Chevalier Jean-Louis Lazare de Montbedel. Oh, okay. So we awakened him all the way back in 1676. All right. No, 1600s, not the 1700s. My bad. Another nobleman was afflicted with that strange disease during one of our concerts. You should have seen how much he was screaming. It keeps happening, although rarely the reasons are not clear. While the most eminent doctors are trying to give an answer, we can only move forward with the program. After all, we have only followed the directions left by the prophet before his death. Compose as he commands you. Should we trust this? Compose as someone buried who knows where says only for the aristocracy, moreover? So we're legit. Oh God. Okay. World building. Okay. So basically what we're saying is satanic messages in heavy metal music. No, satanic messages will go all the way back to the 1600s. Okay. All right. The day of the tragedy, eh? Over the top of a private collection. I love how if you look to the right here, I don't know if my arrow cursor showing up. This dude's head looks just like the symbol, the stigma. The great regret. Okay, so what was the great regret? We didn't know what to do. We were terrified. A huge crowd gathered in the streets, shouting and armed with the tools of their filthy jobs. Everyone was shouting, "Death to that swine! We want him alive!" Gathered under that damn building, they were seeking vengeance. Vengeance for the countless missings of their children, wives, and relatives. Everything led back to the violinist. Ah, okay. One day, at least according to our assumption, someone must have heard a young girl scream coming from the basement of the leader's mansion, where we were collecting subjects waiting to be transported to Venice. So we barricaded ourselves in another building, having no choice. The crowd had no idea about us. They wanted our leader. They believed he was some kind of murderer or perverted aristocrat. For the sake of the organization, we let that happen. So the great regret was basically Tartini got sacrificed to the commoners. That's what I'm guessing. I think Sassy's a rope. I'm guessing that's Tartini. The violinist. Yep, that's Tartini. Theater from 1741 to 1770. Almost 30 years. Sorry about your damn luck. The solution. The final solution? The lust for power and earthly things makes them careless. They work like industrious ants or betray each other and gain more and more. Consequently, stupidity, permanence, human beings are fools. They killed him, slain him like a martyr, lynched and hanged from a beam beside the square. The damn rabble paid for it. Oh, and they paid dearly. They paid it in the sweetness of musical notes. Special concerts, once reserved for the great nobility, now had mysteriously been opened to the public at affordable prices throughout Europe and America. The notes would make them good, docile, tame. They did not have to think too much. They only needed to want bloodlettings until the bucket was full. So yeah, so the music is what makes them willingly give the blood. Tartini got impatient and just decided to just start wrecking people. And if they don't give up the blood of their own volition, then it can't be accepted. It taints the well. We stopped calling them sacrifices, and now no ideology or bigotry, as in the old days, could have impeded us. And if someone undergoes that odd illness, we will find him and eradicate the root of the problem. I wasn't done reading. We'll find him and eradicate the root of the problem. The end justifies the means. Yeah, that's. We use a lot of goats. Hi, how you doing? You must be Orpheus. Hey, that's the.
And Billy Husky. Let's go. And
Now,
now Willie Football representing Detroit, Aaron and Lauren.
No.
That'll do it for this week. And remember, living by the beat, you can't go
Wait, that Danny Terrio? What the fuck you doing hanging out with Danny Terrio?
wrong. We'll see you next time on Dance Fever.
It is Danny Terrio. What the fuck you doing hanging out with Danny Terrio?
You beat the team you had to beat.
What was that? Give us blood, give us blood, give us blood.
Welcome, dear brothers and sisters. We are delighted to have you here in this celebration, so crucial for us. Today we mark 350 years since the founding of this organization. We have come a long way, ladies and gentlemen. So what better way to celebrate this occasion than by looking back at our history?
Haven't we already done that? Oh, so are we going to get the full-on lore now?
As you well know, it all started here, from music. From the sweet melodies that our founding fathers used to play at the great aristocrat parties and nobility banquets. You know what they say, music has a strong influence on the person who listens to it. All it takes is a change of tone, a small variation, to give different feelings, to make the person feel what the composer wants him or her to feel. This explains how, for the first years, all of our leaders and regents were successful composers.
Okay.
Times were changing fast. Blessed be the progress, ladies and gentlemen.
Blessed be the fruit.
It soon led to another huge resource, the cinema. The beloved Lumiere brothers did us a great favor by selling us the blueprints for their cinematograph.
So the Lumiere brothers are in on this too.
A ticket would cost nothing. Affordable prices even for the lower classes, a few hours of relief from the hard life, and a chance for us to imprint our will more and more.
Well, if you'd like to give your eyes a real treat, take a look at Sylvania's newest television.
That was until it came television.
You look for Halo Light on Sylvania's new Golden Jubilee models, the finest television sets ever built at any price.
If before, concerts and cinema were not frequented by as many people as possible, for television it was different. Who didn't have one at home? Everyone had to have one. In addition, this allowed us to use images and sounds more directly and effectively in the viewers.
Okay, so you have to use images as well. I was going to say, why didn't you just use radio?
This was possible thanks to something we couldn't use in previous technologies, filters. Filters, both audio and video, allowed us and still allow us to mask the true content of the images we show. People watch ordinary television programs, but behind the filter, our messages, images, and sounds pass through and
this all goes to subliminal advertising, yada, yada, yada. Okay.
are repeated and absorbed.
Yes, how does the broadcasting work? A television. Yes, it is. CRT2, TV speaker. The box. There's just one of these in every CRT set. How do you explain that to like every person who was learning like repair or assembly? The box, despite being made of a special metallic alloy, is very dangerous. Important not to be in direct contact with it for too long. Explain that to the people on the assembly line that make the TVs. What's in the box? Oh, the relic. So it's literally just like how in order for a church to be a church of Saint yada yada, there has to be a piece of that saint in the church. And usually it means like a finger bone or something like that, like a, but the relic of what? There's only so much you can go around. There's way more TVs than there are churches. And that's it. Okay. That brings us up to current day. All right. So that did take a bit longer than I thought. Damn. This is a long stream. I apologize to any of you. I didn't plan on these episodes being this long. But I needed a refresher, and we got through the whole thing. So please go give them a subscribe. Linked below. My thoughts so far is there's some good stuff. There's some discrepancies. And I'm honestly interested in where it's going to go from here. I still have that thought in the back of my mind about the stuff, considering the first date that was mentioned. I don't think that was just arbitrarily given. So I think there has something to do with it. Like I said, there's some tropes that are there, some errors. There's definitely more world building that needs to be done. So we did get some gaps from the past filled. We still need to go forward now, because now where do you go? We need something. And I really hope there isn't a 9-month gap in between now and the next video like there was with the last one. So, yeah. Closing thoughts. It's a good middle of the road analog horror. Definitely should be analyzed a little more on a frame by frame. I'm not here for that. I'm just here to give a little bit here and there. But I hope you enjoyed this. Honestly. And hopefully the next one of these won't be quite as long. But hey, maybe you enjoy it that way. Who knows? But yeah. But thank you for joining me on episode 1 of Brass Tacks. Please like and subscribe and go visit the actual Baroque Hour channel as well. Titus, you want to tell them again? You going to tell the people? Over here. You got to say like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. That's my boy. That's my boy. All right. So, yeah. Thanks for joining me on Brass Tacks. My name is Joseph J. Alexander. Hopefully I see you a little more on this channel. Later.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm